Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
Biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
SBTV Nation, it's the Dream back in the house, and I don't know what's going on or if we're on. I hope we're on, and I hope you can hear us.
What's going on, guys? Good morning to you. We are back, and we had to kind of throw Skype to the wayside, man.
You guys have no idea what's going on over here behind the scenes, but a lot. We went into the lab last night. Test drove the whole system. Everything was working 100% fine. We walk in this morning, fire it up, boom!
Kind of almost like the Cowboys versus Elijah Manning the other night, Dream.
It was a lot like the Cowboys versus Elijah Manning the other night. An absolute lot. And I don't know, like I said, I feel really weird right now because part of me believes that we're on, and then another part of me is like, dude, they can't hear a word you're saying.
I know, exactly. Good morning to everybody, SBTV Nation. Can you hear us loud and well here? It's Thursday, it's Friday Eve, and we're 10 days from Christmas, Dream.
10 days from Christmas, right upon you guys. If you got time to gamble, you've got time to get out and do your Christmas shopping and start your holidays and get them off to a right, get them off on the right foot and do your thing. Don't come with the booty excuses of, I couldn't get to the store, I couldn't get to the mall, I couldn't get the Amazon working. You know what I mean? It's so many outlets to make this Christmas thing happen. Use all your outlets. Like I said, if you got time to gamble, then you got time to do your Christmas.
Unless you're losing all your money.
Well, no, but you shouldn't be doing that. Because you're not betting, you don't bet money that you would be spending on Christmas.
Yep. Right on.
Gambling.
Well, you know what? If you're taking home team underdogs on prime time, I think you're doing pretty damn well this year, Dream. Considering the fact that the New York Football Giants got it done on Sunday night, and that was it was an awful matchup in the first half. Really, really poor football. Just very sloppy. But then all of a sudden, you know what? Hey, your boy ODB ended up catching the winning touchdown, and the Giants sweep the Dallas Cowboys, but are still 2 games back.
I don't really think, you say really sloppy. I think the Giants defense played impeccably.
Oh, the Giant defense was great, yeah.
Throughout the whole game. And I thought when you say sloppy, I do think of the New York Giant offense and their inability to execute. But on the flip side of that, I just thought the Giant defense really punched the Dallas Cowboys in the mouth and really let the Dallas Cowboys know, you know what? We're tired of hearing about your offensive line.
Yep.
We're tired of hearing about Dak Prescott. We're tired of hearing about Ezekiel Elliott. Come out here and play football or shut up. And like I said, the Cowboys, I know that offensive line is incredible. I have seen that offensive line now in 2 really big situations get away with a lot of holding and also get a lot of holding calls called on them. Now, I'm not saying that they're not good. They are very good offensive line, but there is some holding going on. Not saying that holding isn't going on with a lot of offensive lines, but I'm just saying the brand that this defense, this offense has, and we hear so much about this offensive line, just a lot of holding penalties and calls and not calls that I see going on behind the scenes with this offensive line that bother me a slight bit. Now, I talked about more than 4 weeks ago, Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, and the inability to get the ball down the field in throwing situations. Cowboys have lived off having the ball control, that run game. When the run game's been stifled, we've seen the Cowboys not be in their necessary comfort zone, which to me is definitely the prescription to use moving forward to beat the Dallas Cowboys. You move into the playoffs. This is a playoff type football. That's playoff type defense where you're going to look to try to put 8 in the box, stop the run game, stop all the holes from progressing, and then force them to beat you through the air.
Right.
This is going to pose to me a big problem, especially when you take into consideration that Dak Prescott is a rookie quarterback.
Well, that and Dream, if they fall down, let's say they have a, they let up a special teams touchdown and maybe like a quick strike in the end zone because the secondary isn't all that good. So let's say they fall down 14-0 right out the gate. You can't really play that game with that time control, with the clock control, with the running game and all that. You're going to have to air the ball out, especially if you're nearing the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, and you're down two scores.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So that's going to be tough for them. But you know what? They are still a good team, guys. We're having a lot of fun with Dallas Cowboys because you know what?
No. Cowboys are good. Listen, I have taken the opposite side of the fence because of the arrogance of the Dallas Cowboy fan base.
Yeah, right.
This fan base, you're talking about a fan base, first of all, Dallas hasn't won anything yet. They haven't won a Super Bowl. They haven't even been to the play. This team right now in its current state hasn't even been to the playoffs. You weren't in the playoffs last year. We go back 2 years ago to the Green Bay situation, all right? And everybody cried in that situation when you guys went. But it's one of the more annoying fan bases when there's some success. Other fan bases, a lot of Patriots, who, if anybody should be annoying, you figure the Pats fans would be the most annoying, and they're not.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They're kind of a classy quiet as far as they're concerned. Just go about their business on a general routine. But this Cowboy thing that happens, it just, first of all, there's a plethora of Cowboy fans. There's more Cowboy fans than any other team. I'll give you that for the most part.
Oh, pretty much.
And then,
you got like 4 primetime games in a row, Dream.
And once you guys start winning, it's just forget it. And most of you are so unrealistic about your situations. Like, other teams win and they got like their fingers crossed in your situations. Like, well, I hope things work out, or I hope this is able to hold up. You guys start winning, we're the best in the world. That's it. We're the best in the country. No, hey, well, we're not really getting the ball downfield, or no, hey, well, the defense is not really playing that well. No. All of a sudden, a couple of wins, and you guys that's it. Nobody can mess with us. We're awesome. Keep throwing around your record. Keep flexing your muscles, and then you get smacked in the face by the New York Giants in New York.
Exactly. Well, you know what, Dream? This team only has 2 more wins to catch to be the number 1 seed in the NFC, meaning that if with 2 more wins, the road to the Super Bowl goes through Jerry's world.
Definitely. And the other thing that we need to talk about now, which Dallas fans, I'm going to let you know you should be concerned with this, because enter the circus of Tony Romo versus Dak Prescott, because the talks have already opened up and they've already reared their head. So now, instead of concentrating on football like you're supposed to be, 100%, you have to divert a little bit of your attention into this drama that's going on behind the scenes with Tony Romo versus Dak Prescott. And you don't need this distraction at this point in the season, in my opinion.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous to have any kind of drama whatsoever. I mean, listen, you know what? This team is 11-2, Dream. 11 wins. Best record in football. Right? Or tied, whatever it is. There should not be any conversation. I mean, it's not like they got blown out. They lost by 3 points. So you know what? I don't care, man. I would rather have Dak Prescott any day. He's got the winning pedigree versus Tony Romo any day.
But you don't like Tony Romo.
I don't like
so
Tony.
That's not.
No,
you're
I know, but you know what? I think the man is a class act. I'm with you on that, and I think that the fact that he went to the press conference and said it's Dak's time and all that, I respect that big time, Dream.
The issue is, and here's where I'm at, and here's where I think some of the people involved in football specifically understand, and I know you understand the game, but I'm just saying, I'm not coming from, I don't want to necessarily come as just that fan and rah-rah. The issue that the Cowboys offense seems to have right now, and with Dak Prescott and moving forward, Tony Romo kind of, I think some of the people involved in the football end of it want to see Tony Romo, one, behind this incredible offensive line, healthy.
Yep.
2, with this run game that he has, healthy. 3, his ability and his experience in the playoffs versus a rookie quarterback in the playoffs. I think a lot of people want to see that because we all know, and like I've been saying all season, playoff football is different than regular season football. You always want a more experienced guy taking the snaps. In most cases, if he's better. I mean, this is why the Denver Broncos opted to go with Peyton Manning when the playoffs started last year. You want your more experienced quarterback in these situations because you don't expect him to panic. You don't know what a rookie quarterback's going to do in this situation. And a healthy Tony Romo hasn't really had his opportunity to play with this particular team.
Right.
So we don't know how successful Romo will be with this. So I think personally, I hate saying this, but if you really want to have Tony Romo ready, what you do is you give Tony Romo a start in one of these last few games, and you say, we just want him to start real game to see what he was capable of doing and to know that he's really 100% ready to manage the team in the playoffs, barring an injury. And then you let Dak Prescott go, and then you'll have to make a decision, unfortunately, at some point, game time or during the game, whether you want to switch quarterbacks or not.
Well, you know what? The thing is about Dak Prescott is that the reason why they're having success is because he doesn't create a lot of bad situations for the Cowboys. He doesn't put them in short fields. They have a very conservative offensive game plan. And his quarterback passer rating is number 2, second to Tom Brady in all of football, Dream.
Sure.
The thing is that he's not really passing much. I mean, he only averages 241 yards. That puts him number 21 out of all active quarterbacks in the league. I mean, even behind quarterbacks of the likes of Trevor Siemian, Carson Wentz, Russell Wilson, Dream. Sam Bradford, Blake Bortles have more yards than this guy. Because the running game is so dope.
And I think that a lot of people feel Tony Romo could have won Sunday night's game.
Oh, wow. You think so?
I think people feel that way because I think that the feeling was Dak couldn't get the ball down the field.
Okay.
And I think that people feel that Tony Romo would have been more successful getting the ball down the field. Now, I don't, like I said, that's my opinion of what the reaction has seemed to be from the analysts, from, the ESPN people. And, what do they know? I mean, because there's, I turn the TV Monday morning, and there's Herm Edwards all over ESPN with his opinion.
Your boy,
all right?
Herm.
And I know, people probably sitting on the mind, well, Dream, what about you and your opinion? And I know. But, and Herm probably is definitely more qualified than me. However, Herm destroyed 2 NFL teams, and I did not. Okay, that's my thing. That's like right now, which I highly expect. Here comes Fishbone.
Yeah, right.
Joining ESPN, sitting up on the desk, talking about what teams need to do to be dope. Well, if you knew so much about what teams need to do to be dope, why wasn't you dope?
I know exactly. So, speaking of Jeff Fishbone, a.k.a. Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher gets fired. Now, this is one of the strangest things I've ever seen in NFL coaching. Didn't he get, 3 days before that, didn't he get a 2-year extension on his contract?
Yeah, he did. But, okay, so now here's the behind the scenes about this. This is the information that I was told. Apparently, this 2-year contract was offered to him back in the summer.
Okay.
He left it on his desk and never signed it.
Oh, God.
Apparently, he just signed it 2 weeks ago when they talked about it. He had just signed the contract extension.
So he's getting paid.
I mean, they're going to owe him something, of course. I mean, there's severance. I'm sure there's severance language in there. They're going to owe him something. But that's how supposedly this story went down, which is just really ironic that he would pick just 2 weeks prior to getting blown out and losing his job to sign his paperwork, almost like he almost had a notion.
It was Saturday that we made the announcement. I was with Dan on the show.
I know it was. I know.
So was that, what, the day before?
No, it wasn't the day before because it was
you
guys.
Before.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, all right.
And then he got fired. And he got fired. What, Monday?
Unbelievable, man. You know what? And shame on the Rams organization and the head office there for giving them that much time to accept that. That's retarded.
Well, I think that the thoughts were he was going to stay. The thoughts were this season was going to be a lot more successful. And then when you got into the nuts and bolts of the season, it became, hey, I got work to do. We could deal with this a little bit later, but let's get some work done and, let's do what we got to do to get this thing up and running. And the Rams did have a little bit of, can't really call it a little bit of success, but I guess, they don't have the worst record in football.
Not the worst, but they have the worst offense.
No, I agree they had the worst offense, but, you lost to the Niners at the beginning of the season, right? Then they caught 3 wins, Hat.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so you back up, you catch 3 wins, so now you figure work in progress. I'm working on this. I'm trying to fix this thing. We're winning, so the front office isn't bothering them because, they're winning, doing their thing, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Then all of a sudden, here comes the loss to the Bills, and all right, well, it's the Bills. Then there's the loss to the Lions. Then there's the loss to the Giants. And at the loss to the Giants point, but see, in most of those losses, they were still, with the exception of the Bills, the next 3 losses, they were still right there in the game competitive. Even though the offense wasn't clicking, look, they lost to the Lions 31-28. That's a field goal. They lost to the Giants by a touchdown, and they lost to the Panthers by a field goal. So they're probably thinking, well, we're right there.
Yeah, I get it. I understand that.
Okay? Then you beat the Jets, who stink. So there's no real, hey, you need to start winning or we're getting rid of you. There's no real angle to that.
Do you know if Fishbone was calling the plays offensively or do they have an offensive coordinator?
I don't know if he was calling the plays offensively.
Because you know what? My feeling is, why not let go of the offensive coordinator, considering the fact that, Dream, they're dead last offensively in points scored. Cleveland has more points per game than the LA Rams.
Yep.
Do you believe that? 14.9
I do believe they made a quarterback
game.
change in the middle of the season. The Rams story is just it doesn't make any sense. I'm going to start off with the whole thing. Moving to LA, I think it was dumb, especially for that team.
Yeah.
It's not like they were a winning team where they were at the end of that. And to me, when you move, if you don't move with a brand new team, you need to move with a team that has some success and some upside. I didn't see any upside with this Ram team. And I can tell you, 2 more seasons of losing in LA, and they'll be probably looking to move again as nobody will be there.
Right on, Dream. So you know what? Hey, as far as the NFL is concerned, guys, all right, well, I just want to take a look at the standings real quick and have a conversation with Dream since we weren't on Monday. So we need to just talk about it real quick, and I'm going to start with the AFC. So I think I lost my quarterback. AFC East, Miami Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill. They're saying he might be able to be back for Week 17, but that was a pretty vicious hit by Arizona. And
that's I believe,
upgrade. You know what? Matt Mizzle's not a bad quarterback. I've been calling for Matt Moore for quite some time now. So
Matt Moore and Tannehill, no difference in quarterback, just dusty both.
Well, you know what, Dream? Listen, they got to go to the New York Jets this weekend. And it's actually a Saturday night game. And they're calling for 100% chance of rain in that game. So, you know what? The under-over is 37.5. And there's a very good possibility, and you're going to think I'm absolutely out of my skull for doing this. There's a chance that I'm going to the game.
Have fun.
There's a chance I'm going to the game. My kid has been dying to go, and, my late father was very adamant on going to this game. So in memory of him, I might go sit out in the rain. But you know what? I'll get a tent and I'll tailgate all day because it's a Saturday night game under the tent. You know what I'm saying?
Have fun, dude. Go kill it.
I'm going to see Matt Moore at the helm at quarterback. versus Bryce
flu.
Petty in the Booty Bowl. And we'll see what ends up going down. But the Dolphins are favored in that game, Dream.
Go catch the flu Saturday night. Nice. the flu game.
The flu game, exactly. Well, you know what? Hey, my kid wants to go. My bride wants to go. And the tickets aren't really that expensive, considering the fact that the Jets are awful. So,
speaking of the AFC.
Yes.
I'm glad you went there because there's a little issue with the AFC.
There's a little issue with the AFC. Talk to me about that.
That issue is the Pittsburgh Steelers just took the lead in the division.
I agree with you.
And to me, the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the most dangerous teams in the AFC that people are kind of paying attention to, but you're not really paying attention to them. But to me, this team probably poses the biggest threat out of everybody in the playoffs right now to the New England Patriots.
I agree. I don't really know. I mean, let me just look real quick at the New England Patriots versus the Rush and see how good they are. I mean, they're number 5. They only allow 90 yards a game defensively on the ground. But Le'Veon Bell, Dream, you could Ezekiel Elliott me all day long to death. Le'Veon Bell, best running back in the game right this minute, for sure. There's just nobody even close to him right now.
I would say Ezekiel's close. No, I'd say he's close.
No, Zeke is dope. Hurdling the guys and all that. But Le'Veon Bell, just the patience, the jump cutting. It takes so long sometimes for those runs to develop. But even if you think he's dead in the backfield, the guy gets 2 yards. 2.5 yards.
I'd say Zeke is close. There's a couple other guys I like. I think Le'Veon's the number one as far as I'm concerned too. But there's some guys I think there's some other guys that I like too though. That I don't think he's leaps and bounds above the rest of the pack.
I think so. I really do.
I hear you.
This guy has been just a devastating back.
Okay.
He's been devastating. And when you look at this here, Dream, you know that Pittsburgh gets to play the Ravens on Christmas Day in Heinz Field.
Okay.
So you know what? I mean, all they got to do is they got to go. They have to beat the Bengals this week, which I don't think will be that hard of a test. But you know what? They've been on the road now for a couple weeks. So if they could beat the Cincinnati Bengals and then beat the Ravens in Heinz Field, that would probably seal up the division for them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Well, actually, it would. And then they got the Browns at the end at Heinz Field. So maybe nothing to play for, and the Browns get their first win, Week 17, Dream. New Year's Day. But anyway, guys, I agree with you, Dream. I mean, this team is a problem. Offensively, they're good. It's just my challenge with them is their woes on the road. But, they did beat a Buffalo team this week, and you were all over that.
I was all over that. Unfortunately, listen, this year, I got to be honest with you. From a gambling standpoint, it has not been a successful year, and I'm down.
You're down.
Dude, I am down this year. I'm not going to sugarcoat you guys and give you guys, hey, you know what? Well, I'm running 52% with all that nonsense. I'm not going to play the smoke and mirror.
How many years you been in the business, Dream?
Yeah. I don't tell you about all of my time in the business and how many years I've been gambling or whatever, because whatever. All right? And I'm not going to fake the funk because, there was some win here, but I got losers in the background, or I tailed, I got that chain thing with my plays and making you think I won, but I really lost. I'm not going to do that. I don't do that. I keep it real on the show. And that's one thing that I'm a big proponent of, keeping it real. It's a loser season. The NFL has not been particularly kind to me. You know what? For the first year, I've done better in college than I've done better in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, the collegiate football has been good.
Yeah, I did better in college than I did in the NFL this season. Now, it doesn't mean – I'm not down a lot. There's been a lot of weeks that it's been a break even. I've won a couple bucks here, lost a couple there. But for the overall season, I'm down. I plan on doing a lot better in the playoffs, but it has not been a good season for me in the NFL. My pairings haven't worked right. And you know what? I look to myself and I blame myself because there's no reason for it. And here's what I'm talking about and what we need to take a look at. as an SBTV Gambling Society, okay? The New England Patriots record do you know their record?
Their record is 11-2, tied with Dallas.
11-2. So here's my thing. If you money line the New England Patriots 11 times, you won.
Right.
Okay? Now, we float down to the Dallas Cowboys. Their record, 11-2 as well. So if you money line parlay the Patriots and the Cowboys 11 games, you won. All right? Now, the Cleveland Browns, 0-13. If you bet against Cleveland 13 games, money line, you won.
You're laughing.
Okay? Now, if you bet against the Jaguars 11 games, you won. So there's all kinds of winning spots. And by the way, everybody knows the Niners stunk. I told you all season they stunk, 12-1. One win, 12 losses. You bet against the Niners every game, you won. All right? So every week it should have been, as far as I'm concerned, New England, Dallas, money line, and then whoever the Cleveland Browns and the San Francisco Giants were playing, money line. That's instant winners, and those are plus money
49ers,
parlays.
San Francisco 49ers.
You know what I'm saying? Those are plus money parlays.
I agree. Well, you know what? It doesn't always fall like that, though, Dream, because there's weeks that the Patriots lose, the Dallas wins, and vice versa.
But, no. What I'm trying to, no, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying there are weeks that so far, there's been 2 weeks, 2 games the Patriots have lost, and 2 games the Dallas Cowboys have lost. Right. One of them was last week against the Giants, which we kind of probably foresaw to stay away from. The Patriots, one of their losses was to Seattle, which was more competitive for them, which we probably knew to stay away from. And that third game, the second game that the Patriots lost was against Buffalo Bills when there was no Tom Brady. So we had an idea of those two to stay away from.
Well, speak for yourself, because I murdered the Giants Sunday night.
No, right. But I'm saying
line,
as far as taking the Cowboys, I'm saying if you look at this thing and the way I'm looking at it, and this is a point that I have brought up every season, there are 1 to 2 teams every year in the NFL that if you just money line them or put the 2 of them together, I think the same thing was last year. Patriots like one of those teams every year.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I don't know why we don't do it, but, I'm guilty of it. I saw it during the season. I saw the success the Patriots were having during the season, even the success the Cowboys have. I did bet a lot against the Niners, but it was a lot of chase play second half money, so I already had lost during the day. But you want to play around with some of these other teams and some of these other matchups. It just didn't make any sense.
All right, Dream. Well, you know what? Speaking of the rest of the division leaders, playoff implications, so on and so forth, I believe the New England Patriots, with one more win, they have to secure a playoff. I mean, you know what? I mean, I guess, yeah, because the Oakland Raiders are 10-3. But, yeah, I would say one more win probably puts them in the playoffs. Dolphins are 8-5, Dream.
Right.
They didn't get fish fried the other day. They won the game versus Arizona, where they almost gave up the game. They had a big lead in that one and almost lost. But they get it done, and they're 8-5, Dream. And you know what? The other second wild card team is a team that you've been high on, but I know that they're terrible offensively, and that's the Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos, everybody talks about the Denver Broncos terrible all season, right?
They haven't been terrible all season. They play exceptional defense.
Okay.
But offensively, dude, come on. They're brutal.
All right, so now this is what I want to hear, because Trevor Simeon's a bad quarterback, right?
Middle of the road.
I want to hear bad.
Middle of the road. I won't give him bad. Brock Osweiler's bad. Brock Osweiler's bad.
This week's passing leader, number 1 was Tom Brady. Number 2, Trevor Simeon.
That's because he was playing from behind the whole game.
They lost 10-13.
All right. Well, whatever. That means he didn't throw any touchdowns. He just went up and down the field and they didn't let him score. What the hell's that? That don't mean nothing. You can have all the yards in the world. You can have 1,000 yards a game. If you ain't putting in the end zone, you ain't winning.
My point is the quarterback play out of Denver isn't as bad as it's being alluded to, and I don't think you can point right there as the number one problem. There's some other problems there. One is their running game. There's some other problems on that team, and they turned the ball over on their last drive to go down and tie or possibly win the game as well.
All right, I got it. Big ups to my man Wayne Yarborough saying good show and honesty and great information. Much respect. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it, man, and we're just so happy to be back.
Yeah,
Damn.
we are happy to be back because we've been trying to get on it. It still
Christ.
doesn't feel right. As I can hear reverb in the back, I hear my voice echoing. We promise, we're tinkering it, but we want to just get back on
you sound all right
show
on this side, Dream. You sound all right here. You sound just fine. So it just seems like
I
we're
sound crazy on my end.
and big ups to my assistant for coming in and making that happen.
No
Kelsey
doubt.
Klaus made it work over here. So big ups to her. on
One
that.
more story that's going on in the NFL, gang. Michael Floyd, DUI arrest. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. The teams let him go, which I'm struggling with the team letting him go.
Okay.
But I do believe that behind the scenes, there were some other things going on with Michael Floyd in the organization that they weren't happy with.
Could be.
And I think that that's come into play with this.
Could be. Definitely. I mean, you never know what goes on behind closed doors and in the locker rooms and all that, Dream. But, hey.
I guess my man Mike was in the Escalade at the light. Light changed 2 to 3 times, and the Escalade just stayed in position. Cops surrounded, barricaded the Escalade, tapped on the window, saying, "Hey, Mike, this is not the place to take a nap."
Why, you was sleeping in the car?
Car at the light.
Oh, wow. Not a good look, brother.
Sleeping
Not a
in,
good look at all.
sleeping in the Escalade at the light.
Nice.
I'm sure further details will come as far as the blood alcohol level is concerned. Mike said that he was going somewhere, fell asleep. He's on blood thinning medication, and maybe he had a glass of the house Cabernet.
Oh, okay. Got it, Dream. There's a couple of more things NFL-wise before we get into Thursday Night Football that I want to talk about. And guys, this has been a predominantly dominated NFL show, but you know what? Hey, there's a lot of storylines and a lot of things to talk about here.
Sure.
Dream, talk to me about the drubbing that the Green Bay Packers put on the Seattle Seahawks the other day.
Well,
The drubbing. I mean, Dizzle went with the adjusted line with Green Bay, and he won.
I know he did. And that was that's a very impressive call on his part. Well, I just don't, how I feel about Seattle.
I know, and after the game, after the drubbing, Dungy was saying that there's still a problem.
And I don't know what kind of problem they are other than they just stink up the field when they're on it, because I don't feel that this team's a problem. I just really don't. I feel like they have – what's happening is exactly what it should be happening. Their offensive line is absolutely terrible, and it's while the Cowboys have one of the worst, the Seattle Seahawks have one of the worst, and without any passing, pass blocking, they don't run block well. Nothing is going to be able to happen with this team as far as that's concerned. And we saw it come to fruition against Green Bay. Russell Wilson looked his absolute worst. I think Seattle's going absolutely nowhere. But the one thing I will say about Seattle, when Arizona lost, their loss. The game wasn't that important for them.
Dream, picture this. So I have a fantasy team going, daily fantasy. I'm rocking. I had Le'Veon Bell. I had all these players, all kinds of points, right?
Yep.
Then at 4 o'clock, I have the Green Bay defense monster, right?
Yep.
But I have Matt Forte, who exits the game like 5 minutes into the game. So I was, instead of placing like where there was plus 100 money, I won $8.
Oh,
sucks, man. I know. Matt Forte, I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. Really?
And I got played in my fantasy league because I picked up Green Bay defense that day as well. The guy I played against had Le'Veon Bell, who ended up having 62 points for our playoff, and I had Breezy go.
Oh,
Fun.
Breezy
picked the worst week to have his worst week ever.
It's a tough game though, man, on the road,
But I could not go against taking him because, when you go, I looked at Breezy's stats this season, he played fine on the road. Even when he played on grass, Drew Brees was a monster quarterback for me for a fantasy season. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Every week, 20-plus points every week.
Yeah.
This was his worst week of the season.
Yeah, that's a tough game for him. But a couple of comments here. Joseph Del Rosario saying, good luck to the flu game this week, Dream. I'm going to be sitting there in the pouring rain at MetLife Stadium. in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And my man, Direct Sports Solutions, saying that's why you guys are the best, always up front. I'm with you guys. Thanks for what you all bring. So thank you, brother. We appreciate that. And you know what, Dream? Speaking of, Russell Wilson, 5 interceptions.
They weren't all his fault.
They weren't all his fault. A lot of tip balls. The Green Bay defense, though, they rose to the occasion. It's so amazing how inconsistent these teams are week to week. It's just mind-boggling.
To me, Green Bay's defense. Listen, I'm not going crazy with Green Bay's defense either.
No,
it was bedlam, and it worked in their favor. That game got chaotic. They got Seattle kind of on the ropes and on their heels, and just kept capitalizing each time. And the atmosphere went. I mean, you watched it. The atmosphere went crazy. Once they got those quick turnovers and a couple quick scores, it just snowballed. So, Seattle was at the point where they just wanted to get out of Dodge.
Right on. I'm looking at this in MetLife Stadium, Dream. It's saying Jets, Giants will have neutral end zones this weekend at MetLife. Probably because, I get it. Probably because, do they both have a home game? I know the Jets do, obviously. They both have a home game. The
Jets play Saturday night, and the Giants play Sunday.
The Giants play Sunday at home. All right, so there's not going to be any paint on the end zones. It's going to be black. All right, got it. So, anyway, moving on here, Dream. I think it's time to get into Thursday Night Football.
Oh, there's a game tonight?
There's a game tonight. And it is this very same Seattle Seahawks team that you are talking about. And they get to play the fishboneless LA Rams. And you know how these usually go. So let's talk about it right now. You got the LA Rams are a 16-point underdog at Seattle with an under-over of 39 points. Dream, the LA Rams, the worst offense, in the game. Number 32, averaging 14.9 points. Jared Goff at the helm has to go into a very, very difficult place to play in Seattle with the 12th man and that defense who is unstoppable at home. Talk to me about this game. 16-point favorite.
Yeah, and that's the issue. I don't think Seattle, by any stretch of the imagination, should be given 16 points. However, there's no way I could take the Rams with the 16.
I agree with you.
Okay? As far as I'm concerned, teaser, money line is not worth it because it's minus 2,000. So I know that's out of the question for our audience. So I'm not even going to go there. But, if you want to put it in a marathon, it's not even worth to put it in a marathon because it just eats up your parlay and there's just no reason to do it. Listen, could Seattle beat them by 16 points? Sure. I just don't see it, but there's no way I could take the Rams after 1, losing Fishbone, and 2, just Goff, 3, just being terrible all season. And by the way, Mr. Todd Gurley, who absolutely ruined my fantasy football.
He wasn't bad this week. I had him this week.
He was garbage. He was garbage.
No, he wasn't that bad. But go ahead.
He had 14 points for my team.
He had a touchdown, and I want to say it was like 80 or 90 yards.
Compared to, listen, and this is what I hate, and guys that play fantasy will notice. Don't you hate when you watch a guy all season long be incredible, and then the next year you go get him, and he's booty?
Yeah, right.
I can't stand that, and that's the case with Todd Gurley. And I still blame Hard Knocks as the catalyst to the issue with the Los Angeles Rams. You get those recorders and those TVs, cameras in there, in that locker room, in your personal zone, and you don't do things like you're supposed to do them because other people are watching. And I still say, if I had a team, there's no way I'd let Hard Knocks anywhere near my team, especially in the offseason if I want to go in and have a winning season. I don't care what I'm being offered in monetary value. If I want to really win, I'm not letting Hard Knocks into my organization.
All right. I'm going to tell you where I'm at with this game, and you might think I'm a little crazy. I see the Rams are 1-8 in their last 9 games. Yep. I see the Rams are pretty much, psychologically got to be decimated. Fishbone going now. They just got murdered in their house by Atlanta.
It was
Seattle,
42. Not in their house, though.
Well, let me finish. in their house, 42-0. They ended up losing the game 42-14, but it was 42-0 in that game. Okay, now this is, I mean, you get booed out of your house pretty much. Jared Goff now, rookie quarterback. This Seattle team, you know how hard they hit, especially at home. And you know Seattle got to be fuming after getting beat down by Green Bay. I can see this game being like 27-3 and Seattle covering the spread. I really can. I think they're going to cover the 16. And you know what?
So laying 16?
I think I'm going to lay 16. I think I'm going to do it because it's under 17 points. And the one thing that makes this not such a large play is as follows, guys. These two teams, when they play each other, it's been the last 3 games have been close, decided by 3 points, 4 points, and 6 points. However, you take all the controversy that's going on with the LA Rams, you take Todd Gurley, as you talked about, not having the best year. You take Jared Goff, rookie quarterback, going into the 12th man. Dream, this is a tough place to play, and you got a real pissed off Seattle team. I got to do it. I say 27-3 final score, maybe 34-6. I just see a beatdown. I really, really think that the Seattle Seahawks are going to beat this team down and absolutely murder them. So I'm going to lay to 16 and get it done.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Double-digit spreads in the NFL usually go towards the dogs, but I'm going to get my balls out there and do it. So I'm taking minus 16.
Wow.
Yep. I see it, Dream.
That's impressive. I can't do it.
No, you can't?
No,
Is it because it's an interdivision matchup?
Say it again.
Is it because it's an interdivision matchup? You don't want to do it?
Interdivision matchups, the Rams generally, I mean, even though they did get blown out their last game, most of their games have been somewhat competitive. I think that their defense is not too bad, even though they're left on the field a lot. I cannot give 16 points. I can't. That Seahawks offense on no day for me is 16 points better than any team in the NFL. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about their offense. I just don't like their offense. To me, this team's never had enough weapons. They've never had a true, real one wide receiver. And, they've mostly relied on their run game, which is questionable now without Marshawn Lynch. I know Rawls is trying to get it done, but I think that they should have never let Christian Michael go. I don't love their running game. I hate their offensive line. Russell Wilson, I give him a little bit of respect for being able to run around and extend plays and then have that playground effect, but to me, they just are not 16 points better than the Rams. They're not.
Right, well,
now, what I would do in this situation, I tease it down and get it under 10. If you get it at 9.5, I think you're going to be okay. But I'm going to probably try not to play this game.
Who would you say had a better offense, the Carolina Panthers or the LA Rams? Not even I know your answer.
Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers scored 7 points in Seattle in their last home game. What are the LA Rams going to do? If they're not scoring with special teams, Dream, I just can't see them putting it in the end zone at all.
But I mean, that's a great point though. So what happens if they do score at special teams? Now you're clobbered. The first play, the first yard to down is a kickoff return for a touchdown right out of the gate. Now you're down 23.
I'm still ballsy enough to lay to 16. I'm going to do it. 27-3 final score. That's where I'm at with this game. So that's where I'm going to go, Dream. And that's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm getting it. So you're going to be getting involved in it slightly. I know you are. And
I probably will, but it's going to be a teaser, gang. And I keep looking at the total. I do kind of like the under, but it's really low at 39.
Yeah.
So it's tough to get involved with that number. But I will probably tease the game, and I will tease Seattle, but I'm not taking 16.
All right, sounds good. So that's going to do it for Thursday Night Football. That is the sides that myself and my boy are on. Dream, you have anything else as far as the other sports are concerned?
Well, we haven't had an opportunity to talk about hockey. I have been having some success with hockey, and gang, the team this year for me, there's always a team that I seem to gravitate to. This year, I have been having a lot of success with one, Montreal Canadiens that we've talked about, and two, my very favorite undercover team this season right now, San Jose Sharks.
Okay.
San Jose Sharks have been getting it done for me. They've been doing their thing in impressive fashion, going out winning. They won last night in the shootout against the Senators. San Jose Sharks, I mean, even a lot better at home than on the road, like most teams should be. This team looks like they are watched them at the end of last season begin to emerge. Had some success in the playoffs. I was very impressed the way they play, and it seems to have translated well into this season as well. They look good in the transition moving on to this season. I like their line changes, scoring prowess. They're tough. They're big. I mean, they can beat you a lot of different ways. You like to have a team that can win on a lot of different options. I really like what I'm seeing out of this team this year. So you guys might want to keep an eye on the San Jose Sharks.
All right, sounds good. Dream, I'm looking at do you have any more hockey before I move over to the NBA?
I do not.
All right, just one thing I want to talk about with the NBA, guys. Just seems like this. The home team underdog thing, home court underdog, I should say, in NBA, doesn't really work.
Oh.
Most of the road favorites usually win. So if you've actually done that all year long, you're down. So that, for me, goes more towards like college sports and the primetime games in the NFL. That's where I'm at with that, Dream. But as far as the NBA, the superior teams usually win the games.
Exactly. And that's another reason why I kind of get down with the NBA.
Yeah, right.
Because it's for my speed. Back to the ice real quick, though. 2 games you guys might want to look at this evening. The New Jersey Devils are absolutely terrible this season. They are playing a St. Louis Blues team that are a pain in the neck. So you might want to look to the Blues over the Devils. And also, the Dallas Stars are not playing really up to speed this year, not like they were last year. You might want to – the Rangers are coming into town. Rangers have been very successful this season. Rangers are actually plus money on the money line. As the Dallas is minus 101, so I think the Rangers are plus. You might want to look towards that as well for your hockey. And the last note, Coyotes stink again. Playing the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs aren't great, so I'm not going to go crazy with this game. But the Maple Leafs are kind of in one of those, you guys know I talk about a game that they should win against a team that they need to beat to keep themselves relative. That's their situation with the Coyotes coming in. So Maple Leafs, Blues, Rangers. I don't think I put all 3 of them together. My favorite would be the Blues. I wouldn't mind the Blues, Rangers together, money line parlays. Probably leave Maple Leafs out on the side, but I do like you might want to take a look at all 3 of those for hockey.
Sounds good, Dream. So I got to cut out of here. Got a big day ahead of me and getting ready for tomorrow's show as well.
Yeah, guys, we'll hopefully be on time tomorrow. Get a full plate. Maybe move over to some basketball. You know I like to do basketball on Fridays. I have had some success with that, so we'll get moving forward with basketball. It is good just to get back on the air and get into talking about football again and talking about the Cowboys and what's going on. Want to thank everybody out there that's retweeting the show. We got A.B. Lint, Terry Bouchard, Direct Sports Solution, Mr. Charlie, Mr. Terrence Matt, JDH24 Irvin, Vegas Girl 92661, LA Wizkid, Winning Picks, Mr. Sermata, We Them Boys, welcome to the party, OJFB, CD and Capra Kings, Joseph Del Rosario, Jeff Ryan, Shane Whitehead, also our assistant Ray Score is out there, Bang the Book, Money is out there as well. I've gotten a lot of talk from a bunch of people wondering what's going on with us. I'm sorry, guys. We are trying to batten this thing down. Please remember, our equipment was stolen. We have no
Skype is booed.
No defense over that. Skype was down this morning. There's having their issues. We've got no thing to worry with that. We have now found another avenue that we can use to try to get the show to you. It's a work in progress, guys. You know what we do, so we're trying to get it done for you. So please have some patience with us. We apologize, but hopefully we will have everything up and running and as smooth as it used to be very shortly. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of it each and every day because you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir. Guys, it's Friday Eve, so get ready for the weekend. Don't party too hard tonight because you still got to work tomorrow. But whatever you got to do it to do whatever it is you want to do in life. Go out there, rise and grind, and get that money. Let's go.